ticker symbol INM per request, showing some signs of life in the price action. Let's go ahead and go over some key details for the next trading session. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again on this fine Taco Tuesday. We are going to be touching on INM, that is InMed Pharmaceuticals. We're going to look at technicals, raw price action, and statistics. But before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, so we are looking at INM on the 5-day chart right here. So we don't have as much information as I would like to have, but it's still okay. We've been trading since about December 2013. Okay, so particular to the 5-day chart, I have ran a back test. Okay, so this is a little bit of physics for you guys and statistics combined. Okay, so new viewers, what you're looking at here is volatility represented by this indicator BBWP, and volatility is direction neutral. We tend to pair this with stochastic momentum. Okay, so this indicator down here is the stochastics oscillator, and it's particular. It's actually proprietary to the TradingView software, which, by the way, I've been accepted as an affiliate, and if you so decide to open up an account, please consider doing that via the link included in the description below, as it would tremendously help my trading future. Okay, you guys, so now, yeah, let's go ahead and continue. So anytime that volatility has reached the critical volatility zone, which I consider to be anything above the 90% or within the 90 percentile, represented by this yellow trend line here, I have taken note of that iteration's duration, the upside thrust, and the amount of times that volatility and stochastic momentum have guessed the upside correctly versus incorrectly. Okay, so that has given us these metrics here for us to evaluate. Okay, so out of a total 6 iterations throughout the entire trading history of INM on the 5-day chart in particular, we have a 4 iterations guessed correctly to the upside, which gives us an averaged upside accuracy of 66.67%. with an averaged upside thrust of 86.347% over the span of about 25 and a quarter days. This is proof of work right down here. Okay, so things are looking pretty good, and the reason why I'm saying this is because in particular to volatility versus momentum, you can actually see that the signal has officially fired. We have officially started this contraction phase towards the downside, and momentum is absolutely pivoted towards the upside, which is the underlying criteria to be met in order for that upside thrust to be realized, right? So now please remember that these metrics are statistical variables. They are not certainties by any means whatsoever, and we should take them as such. Also, for the fact that we only have 6 total iterations, that's doesn't play too good, but that's all the information we have to play within the 5-day chart, so we're gonna go ahead and move on as such and validate. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. So so this is a descending channel that we're riding on, and it's very curious. In the daily chart, of course, it's very curious because it looks like we have test number 1 of the resistance, 2, we have that test number 3 of the resistance, and we have already come back down to reaccumulate and try, and now we're attempting that test number 4 true breakout per the golden rule of 3, right? So it's actually test number 1, 2, and 3 of the resistance, followed by a capitulation, followed by a true test on that test number 4. Okay, so as you can see, the price action is absolutely above the trend line top. Okay, so meaning that the 214 level per the aftermarket trading activity should be right around this level. We're going to go ahead and note that down right now. So aftermarket close came out to be 214, while the market close came out to be at 230. Okay, so of course that downside is absolutely needed. And why is that needed? Is because upon the breakout of this descending channel, which usually presents a continuation to the upside upon that realizing of its true nature, we do need a test back into the newly we need to confirm our newly converted resistance, which was a resistance, into now a support. Okay, so upon doing that confirmation and validation of a support area, then we can move on to the upside. Okay, so the upside that we're looking at per the statistical variable, which is about 86.347%, if we apply that to this chart, we can actually see that the price action would essentially take us to to an area in confluence with the 3.618 Fibonacci ratio, which is the golden mean, and it's between the range of 408 at the 3.618 and per the statistical backtest 429 target. Okay, so 408 to 429 would essentially be that overall take profit, and it could start as soon as not tomorrow. It could actually maybe play out starting potentially Thursday or Friday. Okay, so yeah, in this case, let's go ahead and validate the downside so that we can start validating our newer or our newly converted resistance into now considered a support before that upside, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the last part of the analysis, and this is our RSI. Okay, so to back our upside thesis, I have found some drives of bullish divergence. Okay, so in this case, actually in every case, sorry about that, divergence is the opposition of price action versus momentum, and in this case, momentum represented by RSI, relative strength index. Okay, so we can see that the daily time frame is suggesting an aggressive upside continuation, with the 14-day moving average represented by this pink line is still suggesting that upside as well. Newly printed pivot, really good stuff. Okay, so also do notice that we're jumping in to the bull weakness percentile, okay, which is found on these zones per my diagram that I've made for your convenience. Okay, so if we're gonna just touch on the divergences, please know that I have located 1, 2, 3 drives of regular bullish divergence, and they are on the daily chart, which is very credible, and that is already in play. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up a multi-pane to finish off this thread of analysis and definitely get that edge for the session tomorrow. Please know I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I can't suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own DD and everything will be just fine, okay? This is just me presenting an opinion from a room somewhere in the United States, okay? So, all right, so now let's go ahead and continue. Like always, we're going to start off with the immediate short-term time frame, which is the 30-minute RSI, and you can see that the 30-minute RSI is suggesting a continuation to the downside per the purple RSI signal line, okay? So we have now crossed below the 14-day moving average, which is typically bearish, and we can see a potential downside continuation. This is likely to live out pretty fast, and also it's very much in accordance to what we're talking about within this formation. We're looking at a retracement back to validate our newly converted resistance into now support before a continuation. Okay, so everything is looking like it's connecting pretty well as far as puzzle pieces, right? If we're looking at it in that way, which I am. Okay, so now the bi-hourly time frame is suggesting some downside as well. So it is still immediate short-term time frame as well, and the distance between here and here can actually suggest that we are in fact going to come back down and test this. Okay, so now if we can take an inverse fib from the daily range, actually, let's just take a look at that. Okay, so we're going to do it like this and just see if we have something of relevance, and of course we do. Let's go ahead and just readjust this fib as it's looking a little messy there. So we'll just go ahead and apply it here so we can get a clear view, right? So we're going to take an inverse fib suggesting the downside, right, from the swing low of the day to the swing high of the day, the overall swing high. And right away you can actually see that at $2.01 level we do have that 0.618. Okay, so this is very likely an area for us to touch down on and confirm or validate. Okay, so in this case, let's just make this trend line right across that 2.618, and you can see that now we have that in almost direct confluence for the following day, right? I'm not talking about tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow will likely be a downside, and you can see that that overall touch for the following day is right in confluence with the newly converted resistance into support. Okay, so this is looking still pretty good. Potential wick down to the 0.786 at 191 before a continuation up is likely as well. Okay, so now, yeah, that's regarding the bi-hourly. So it looks like it could face some downside before that upside. So 6 hour also suggesting that limited downside. We do have that 14-day moving average below us as a form of support before continuing on to the upside. And please take a look at the corrective area, okay? As you can see, let me just see the 12-hour just in case. Yeah, 12-hour still suggesting that downside, which is why I'm suggesting downside all tomorrow. Followed by an upside continuation on the following day, potentially even Thursday, okay? But yeah, the daily time frame suggesting massive upside, very aggressive. We touched on that already on the divergence chart. By daily suggesting massive upside as well. 3-day suggesting upside as well. And let's see the 5-day. 5-day also now freshly crossing above the 14-day moving average and suggesting a continuation to the upside as well. Okay, weekly time frame also suggesting upside. So this is likely to be a multi-day upside continuation. A little rocky, but just know that it is in play. Okay, so very, very interesting times here. So definitely expect that pullback first, okay? And then we can make that validation of the newly converted resistance into support, followed by that upside. If you do feel compelled to reach out to me, I'll try my best to reach out to you guys, okay? It's just that there's a lot of messages kind of stacking up, and it's getting really difficult for me to answer everyone as those messages stack, right? But nonetheless, I will try my best to do so anyway, okay? You guys also don't fall for the scammers on the comments below, okay? Those are I don't have a WhatsApp. I will never ever post my contact information in a comment like that. I will never ask to trade your account. I will not initiate a conversation with you first ever, okay? So please know that I will not reach out to you. I will not DM you first, okay? Unless you're a Crypstex indicator holder, in which case I will reach out to you regarding updates to our current indicator packages, okay? But other than that, I will definitely not reach out to you, okay, you guys? So please don't fall for the scam artists, okay? So with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.